Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing our blush declutter. As you can see, I have a few blushes and I've never actually done one. I've given, a few away here and there throughout the years that I've had a bigger makeup collection, but I've actually never done an actual declutter, especially here on my channel. We just recently did a eyeshadow palette collection, so if you guys want to check that out, I'll have it linked in the description box below, including any other declutters and collections that I have. So we're going to get diving right into it. We're going to try to declutter some stuff, see if I can purge something or a few things, and let's get right into it. So we'll go ahead and start off with the very first collection, which is my Benefit collection. I don't plan to get rid of any of these just because I just got these not very long ago. But the first one I have is Dandelion, and it looks really light, but I actually really like it. I didn't think I would like it. The color comes off really soft on the skin, and it is a matte blush, so I'm going to hold on to that one. The next one I have is Gold Rush. Now this one was a little bit difficult when it first came out. I couldn't figure out if it was a highlight or if it was a blush, but there is a pretty strong overlay of gold, as you can see. Once you wipe it off though, it is a nice blush, so I do actually really like it. You just got to take that gold off of it. Then we move into California. California is another one I really do like. Again, I don't use this as much as I do in the summer, and I believe I got this at the end of the summer, so I haven't played around with it a whole lot, so I'm still playing around with it. I'll probably pull it out here again in spring and summer. Then we have Rocketeer, and that one is by far my favorite of the collection. The only thing I will say about this blush is that I feel like the scent is a little bit different. Like, I don't know if it stinks or what, but I do like the blush. I like the color. Even though it is a satin finish, I still really like the way it looks on my skin. So these are my Benefit blushes. Moving into BH Cosmetics, I do have these two floral blushes. These are duo cheek colors. I actually don't play with this one. This one here is Caribbean Coral. Really pretty, but again, it's just, I've worn it before, but I wasn't wowed by it, so I definitely think I can declutter this one. And then I also do have this other one, which is Honolulu Hideaway. And again, really pretty. It does have shimmer on that actual flower itself, the big one. So these two I'm going to declutter just because I don't ever use them. Now let's move into the nude color blush. This here is the 10 color blush palette, same by BH Cosmetics. This is one of my favorite palettes. I've had this for a while now, but I absolutely love it. The colors in here are spot on the colors that I look for in a blush. So I'm definitely holding on to this one. I'm sure you guys have seen it in tutorials before. Just love the way that the colors are in here and the layout and everything. I used almost every single color in this palette. Moving into Too Faced, I actually don't have very many Too Faced blushes, which is quite surprising, but this one here I believe is like their Candlelight or Sweethearts blush. I actually got this from my mom, so I do want to hold on to it because I think it's really cute. I know every time I'm doing my makeup, Eva likes to come in and use this blush specifically. I don't use it as much as she does, but it's pretty, so we'll hold on to it. And then I just got this one, which is from their recent Christmas collection. I had this in my eyeshadow palette collection. I realized it didn't belong in there, so I haven't touched it yet. I definitely want to play with it. It has a bronzer and then a highlight and a blush, so I'm definitely going to play around with that and see what that's like. Let's start off with MAC. I do have a few MAC blushes, but the first one I have is this collection that I got. Super excited to get this collection, and once I got it, I was kind of disappointed with a few of them. This one I actually do like. This here is Hypness, and it's a really soft baby pink blush. It does have a little bit of micro shimmers in it of gold, but I do like it, so I'm going to hold on to it. The next one I have is Freshen Up. I had this in my highlighter collection. Not really sure what this is, honestly. Like, I used it as highlighter, doesn't come off as highlighter. Then I tried it as blush, and it's just a really pale color. It almost just looks like powder. So I think I'm going to declutter this one just because I get a little frustrated every time I use it. So I'll end up decluttering that one. And then we're going to move into my next two blushes. The very first one I have here is in Stubborn. And honestly, I've had this for so long, you guys, but I do love it. I use it every time the fall time comes around. It's just a beautiful blush. I love MAC blushes. And then I have my last one, which is Gleeful. And this is another one of my staple ones. Does have a satin finish to it, but I pull it out again every time I need a good blush, so I'm going to hold on to that as well. I have two AOA Studio blushes that I just recently picked up in my Shop Miss A haul, so I'm going to hold on to those. Then I have two Makeup Geek blushes. I do like Makeup Geek blushes, by the way. The first one I have is Soulmate, which is kind of a more cool tone pinkish color, so I'm going to hold on to that one. And then the next one I have is XOXO, which is a really bright pink. Really hardly ever touch it, so I think if anything, I'm going to go ahead and probably declutter this one because I never use it. As you guys can see, just super bright for me. So I'll declutter this one. So the first one I'm going to declutter from my Milani collection is going to be Coralina, or is it Coralina. Honestly, guys, I bought this because it was the rave, and remember when everybody would talk about it? It's nice, but the glitter for me just doesn't work, and I hardly ever reach for it. So I'm going to go ahead and pass that one on. Then I have the other one, which is Berry Amore. This one I do plan to hold on to because I really do like it. I find it works really well for my skin. So I'm going to hold on to that one. And then this one here is Fantastico Mauve, another one I plan to hold on to. It is by far my most used Milani blush. I just like the color on it. I think it actually works really well with my skin tone, so I'm going to hold on to those. Then moving into Essence really quickly, where we have the Silky Touch blush in Baby Doll, which I do plan to keep. Then we have the Becca Cosmetics blush. This here is the one in blushed copper. Honestly, guys, when I bought this, I'm not really sure what was going on. I think I got it and I thought it would work as a highlighter, but then I was like, this is way too dark. So then I was like, maybe it'll work as a blush, and it just doesn't work for me. So I'm definitely going to have to pass that on to somebody. From Wet n Wild, I am going to be decluttering this one here called Brush with Brilliance. I do like these blushes, but I've just had them for so long. You guys, if you guys have been on my channel for a while, you guys know I was raving about these for so long. Then I have this bright one, which is Brush with Danger. This is so bright, you guys. Like, I have never used it, maybe but once or twice, and it's just way too bright for me, so I'm definitely going to declutter this one. The one I am going to keep is Mellow Wine by Wet n Wild, obviously stuff, but this is one that I really do like. I don't think that it's my favorite formula, but for affordability and the color, I really do like it, so I'm going to hold on to that one. I have two NARS minis I'm going to keep. The very first one I have is Orgasm. I don't have a full-size Orgasm. I got this for free and I wanted to try it out, so I'm going to hold on to it. Then I have this one here called Ghoul, and that's another one I just recently got also, so I'm going to hold on to those as well. The next one I have is called Sin. This is my longest blush I've had from NARS. I think it was one of my first purchases. One of my all-time favorite blushes. Then I have this new one that I just got, and this is their Mosaic blush. It's got like a highlighter, a blush, and then a bronzer, and you can kind of customize it to make it more of a satin blush or just a matte blush. I've played with this a few times now, and I really do like it, so I'm going to hold on to it. And then my newest blush from them is this blush palette, which is Exposed. I just recently got it, and I have played with it a few times now. The packaging is beautiful, obviously, but the formula is a little bit different. It's definitely a lot lighter in formula, so it does take a little bit of time to build the colors up, but I feel like if you don't like blush a whole lot, you might enjoy this one. They do have they're not a satin finish. It does come off matte. Some have a little bit of a satin finish, but I actually have enjoyed it so far. I'm still testing it out, so I'll definitely let you guys know how I feel about it. I can't really say whether or not I love it or I dislike it, but so far I've been enjoying it. Now let's move into the Balm. The very first one I have here is called Argyle. This one here is a really nice baby pink blush. I'm going to end up decluttering this one just because I hardly use it. Then I have this one called Toil. Again, super bright, not really my cup of tea anymore, so I'm probably going to declutter this one. Then we have Hot Mama, another blush I do like, but I just feel like I never hardly touch it, and it's just not my cup of tea, and I have other blushes that I enjoy, so I'm probably going to declutter this one as well. Then I do have this palette, which is the Highlight and Contour palette. This has actually got highlights, bronzers, and blushes. To be honest, I'm not really sure why it's in here. It probably should be in either the bronzer or the highlight shade. I am going to keep this, but I think I'm going to move it into a different drawer. So we move into Kevyn Aucoin. The very first one I have is the Neo blush, and I do like this one. So this one I believe I'm going to hold on to because I like the colors in this one. But I have two that I have never touched before, and I believe I'm going to donate these two. Again, I just don't use them, so I'm just going to donate them. Then we move into Revlon, and I'm probably thinking that I'm going to have to discard these, like trash them. They're so beautiful, you guys, but I have had these for years, and just looking at it, I just remember no really color comes off on it. There's just no payoff anymore. So I'm just gonna go ahead and probably discard it and throw it away. Then we have this one, which is a bright pink. Again, you guys can see I got it on sale, but I love these Revlon blushes. Again, just not getting any color off of it anymore, and just gonna have to trash it as well. And then again, my favorite one from the Revlon is the Melodrama, which is this one. And again, just gonna toss it because they're just too old. I have one blush from Pretty Vulgar, which I do plan to keep. We just recently got it in the subscription box, and I really do like the color, so I'm going to hold on to it. And then one I do plan to donate is going to be this one by Hikari, another blush that we got in our subscription box, but it's just way too bright for me, so I'm going to go ahead and pass that on. I do have this one by Collab, also another blush that I've had for a little bit now. I haven't had it for too long. I do like the colors in it, and I do like the brand, so I'm going to hold on to it. Then we move into a Tarte. This is going to be so hard. I could tell you right now, I'm probably not going to declutter any of my Tarte blushes because they are by far my favorite blushes ever. So the first one I have is this one right here, which is their Tarteist palette. I use most of these, but the one right there in the center is my most favorite. Then I have this one, which was from their holiday collection. I believe they're 2016. Blush palettes from Tarte are the best, you guys. Like, they are just amazing. So I'm going to hold on to that one. And then this one is my all-time ride or die blush palette. There's something about this blush palette that I cannot get rid of. If I can find another one of these, I definitely would, and I would definitely buy it because I love it so much. And I have the Big Blush Book number 2. When they came out with number 1, I was like, oh my gosh, I want it, and they sold out. So when it came out with number 2, I definitely got my hands on it. Really great blush palette. It's got such a great deal in it, and it's super lightweight and easy and portable. So I'm gonna hold on to it. Then we have some minis. Now, I get these minis. They didn't do it this past year, but they did it the last couple years, where at Ulta, you could get them during the Christmas collection. It was like a set of 4 for $25. So these are just a couple of the minis that I have. And then once we get into the bigger blushes is the one which is Exposed, which is another favorite of mine. Then I have Captivating, which I do plan to keep also. And then this one is one of my newest ones that they sent me. This is the Fairy Flush. I want to say that this is limited edition, but it's so gorgeous, you guys. I was like, oh my gosh. I haven't played with it because I just got it, so I'll definitely let you know what I think. I do have 2 NYX blushes, which I think I need to discard. The first one I have is Terracotta, which is a great one, you guys. I love it, but I've had it for too long. And then I have Desert Rose, which I don't use as much as Terracotta, and it's just a little too bright for me, but now the color doesn't even come off, so I'm going to go ahead and discard those. Then I have some Studio Makeup blushes. I'm going to go ahead and the first one I'm going to go ahead and hold on to because I do use this one quite often and I do like the color on it. The next one I'm going to go ahead and keep also. Another one I really like. This one is more of a matte finish, which I do enjoy. This is the one I'm going to declutter. This one here is called Sunrise. Just, you know, got a little bit of gold fleck to it, and you guys know I prefer more matte blushes than anything, and I just think somebody else could use it and enjoy it more than me. I do have this blush also, which is called Note. I don't really know where I got this, but I will say once I'm swatching it, the quality is actually really impressive on it. I haven't really played around with it, so I don't know if I'm going to hold on to it or discard it just yet, so I'll put it to the side. Then for Lorac, this one is going to be hard. I've had this for so long, you guys, but I don't know why. I can't ever part with it. This one here is in Plum. I got it on Haute Look, and I know I should be parting with stuff, but I don't know. I'm going to put this aside because I don't know if I can part with this just yet. And then the next one I have is the Lorac Buildable Technicolor. This one here is pretty. I just hardly ever use it. So if I have to get rid of one, I'll probably get rid of this one. I have one blush from Cargo, which I do plan to donate because it's just way too bright for me and it's just not my cup of tea. Then I have this one from Flower. I just got this one not very long ago, so I do plan to hold on to it, but this one is in Sweet Pea, and I wanted to play around with it just a little bit more. One loose blush. I believe this is like a loose, I don't know, like a loose blush. I've never even opened it, so I'll go ahead and donate it because I don't like loose blushes. I do have this one from Sigma. It's my only Sigma blush actually, and it's the Cora de Rose, and I don't know why I don't have many more of these because the pigment is really good, so I'm going to hold on to it. Then I have this NYX Ombre Blush, which honestly is not my cup of tea, and it's just really patchy on my skin. So I'm going to go ahead and pass that on. Oh man, I have this one, the Mellow Wine. Can you guys see how much love this one gets? This is one of my favorite blushes we've ever received in our Ipsy bag. You guys can see lots of love. It's almost done with, so I'm going to hold on to it so I can finish it because I'm going to be really sad when it ends. Then I have this one from It Cosmetics. I'm going to go ahead and pass this on. I just hardly ever touch it, but they're really good. I just don't ever play with it. So for Bare Minerals, I definitely need to donate a few of these because I don't need them all. They sent me their entire collection, but I love them. But some of the colors are obviously redundant, so we're going to go ahead and declutter a few. The very first one I am going to keep, though, is obviously this one. This one is a little bit lighter, but I use it all the time. And then I have this bright, like, peach one, which I do like, weirdly enough. I didn't think I would, but I really like it. Then we have this one, really deep one. I am going to declutter this one. This is You Had Me at Merlot. Definitely too dark for me. Another one I'm probably going to declutter just because I have too many of the same one. And then I also have this other one that is, again, a little bit too dark for me. I am going to declutter this one. It's just a little too bright for me and, again, redundant for me. Then I'm going to hold on to this one because this one I was like, oh my goodness, I love this. It's like, it works perfectly with a bronzer, so I'm going to hold on to this one. I do have this one, which is that peach, though. This one I do plan to hold on to. I do use this one quite often, so I'm going to put this one into my keep pile. And then the last one I think I'm going to keep just to have one that's kind of dark. I'm going to keep on to this one, so I feel like that's a good amount of decluttering I feel there. This one here is from Ofra Cosmetics. Honestly, I could probably declutter this. I hardly ever use it. And then I have this one from Milani, which I've had for way too long and really no color comes off. So I'm definitely just going to trash it. It doesn't even work anymore. So I have 3 City Color Rosy Cheek blushes. Definitely don't need them all. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the first one. This first one is actually the only one I think I really use. So I'll probably hold on to it because I do like the color on it. So that one I'm going to keep. Then I have this one here, which is Fall Sunflower. This one I do plan to not discard, but donate. I just hardly ever use it. And then the last one I have is Tulip, and Tulip is just way too dark for me. Like, it's just really pretty, but it's just too dark. So I'm going to donate those two. So then let's move into our Morphe palettes. This one here is my newest Morphe palette. I just got this one. So I am planning to hold on to this one. So far, I've enjoyed it. I do like the Morphe blushes, and I love pan palettes like this. Then I have this next one, which is a little bit more colorful. This one's got more pinkish tones to it. I use all of them, especially these two right here. I don't use that bright red one, but I still use it, so I'm going to hold on to it. And then this is the last one, which is my all-time favorite one from Morphe. And I'm going to hold on to it for sure because it's got all of the colors, again, that I totally use all the time. So moving into Joa Beauty, the next thing I have is this one, which is the Be My Everything. I only have one palette, but this is an ombre effect palette. I used it in my first impression. I wasn't super sold on it. I've tried it again a few times after, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and pass it on. Another palette is the e.l.f. Blush Palette. This one here is in the shade Dark, so the colors are a little bit darker, as you can tell, and I do like it. I use it quite often, so I'm going to go ahead and hold on to it since I do get quite a bit of use out of it. The next one I have is the JCat Blush Me Cheeky Palette. I actually just got this last week, so this is brand new to my collection. I've played with it once now, and I used it in an IG tutorial. Really enjoyed it, so I don't want to get rid of it just yet because it is so brand new. The next one I have is the Blush and Bronzer Mini Palette. I want to say that we got this in a boxy charm. Not really a big fan of it. It was fine when I used it, but the colors are too dark for me. The bronzer just doesn't really work for me. So I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to pass it on. Now we have the Smashbox City Lights palette, I believe, and yes, and I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to hold on to this. We actually just used this in a Shop My Stash, and I mentioned to you guys I wanted to pull out because I hadn't used it in a while, and I really do like it. I really like the two blushes. The highlight I don't use as much, but I'm going to hold on to it because I really do enjoy it. And our last one is by Gorgeous Cosmetics. This is a blush palette. I'm going to go ahead and possibly declutter this. I do like it and the colors are really pretty, but they're just a little too light for me. So I feel like I just don't get as much use as I would appreciate too. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass this on. All right, you guys, so here is what I'm going to be holding on to. I know it doesn't look like I decluttered a whole lot, but I had almost 100 blushes, and so I feel like I did pretty good on decluttering at least a little bit of my collection. I'll definitely have to do it again in the summer, but I definitely wanted to clean it up just a little bit more. So this is what I am decluttering. Gonna hold on and see if any of my family members want it, and then if they don't, like I said, I'll go ahead and donate it over to the shelter. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this declutter and slash collection, and if you guys have not seen any of my other declutters and collections, I'll go ahead and link them right here. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and let me know down below what you guys would like to see next.